Two.
Yes, so we're going to hang out tonight. We're going to make barbecue tofu crumble,
All
which
right.
we haven't made. Now that we haven't made it forever. It's one of our most popular recipes. It's delicious. It's pretty easy. I'm going to make it a little bit more difficult because I'm making my own barbecue sauce.
Yes.
But I'll show you how to like do store-bought sauce with it as well. Should I, where like there's like no one watching?
I think it's because we're early again, and I don't know if everybody knew we were coming on at 7. You're at 7, but technically it's 8. You're right. Perfect.
Oh yeah, I was. We are so confused this morning. We didn't even know what time it really was. So
Jen, a lot of people are coming on now, so
no, I think
maybe you can get it. Start your sauce, and
we should just start going because I don't know. By this time we have a ton more people, but they keep changing the stupid, silly platform every week on us, and every week it's costing us like a half an hour to figure out what they do with everything. Oh my gosh, it's awful.
Yes.
It's not an old people thing. I thought it was an old people thing. They literally change everything about this platform every week.
So stop changing things.
Yes. Restream. Stop. I wish they had an option. You just like click it and it just says old school because it worked before. It worked. All right. So, oh wait, I forgot about this. I put this. Oh, we could say our team. Our team is us. Our team is working on redoing our cookbook. The one that we give out. I think we do sell the paperback too, but most of them get downloaded. And our team has been updating it and making it look real fancy. Yeah. Okay. So are you able
to change the camera? Yes, I
do that?
Yes. Since they went and changed that on us again. You tell me when. Okay.
Go for it. Oh, I forgot. Right. You can't cough now that we're both mic'd up. I used to be able to like
forgot about that.
So Heather and I are getting over some kind of cold. Well, I say getting over, it's been a week. But it's great. Okay, I'm on for real.
You're on.
Okay,
you're there.
So this recipe, I put a link to our book. It's in the description and it's also in the comment. I haven't made this in a while, and when I looked at the recipe, I'm like, that doesn't look right because you learn, right? You learned. I wrote that probably 5 years ago, and you learn a lot. So I'm trying to change it on the fly, and I've never actually made this rendition of it. The updated version is now on our website, but it might be wrong. This is the first time I'm ever doing it, so please forgive me if I totally screw it up. First thing I'm going to do, I have some dates. These are medjool dates. I have 8 dates are in the recipe. I have a little less than 8 here because they're medjool and they're what?
Pitted?
They're pitted. Yeah, obviously they're pitted. Right. Yes, that would be awful if they weren't. Not saying we haven't ever done that before.
That's why I'm just saying.
You'll know
Hi,
when.
Patty and Tom.
You'll know when they're not because you'll hear them. So I have my dates. I'm gonna do this really fast. I have a tomato paste. Now the original recipe called for puree. I really have been using tomato paste because what I found out is if you just mix it 1-to-1 with water, it's just like the puree. So that's why I've been using this. So there's my can. Is it a 6? How many ounces?
6 ounces.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 6 ounces of tomato paste. And then I'm going to put a cup of water in here. So I have dates, tomato paste, cup of water. I have some apple cider vinegar. This recipe is actually super cool. I'm going to do half of a cup of this. If you don't want it as sour, don't do a half a cup because it's going to have a punch to it for sure. You're supposed to measure this, but I'm not going to measure this. We're going to put some mustard in here, and that's going to be 2 tablespoons, but I hate measuring mustard. So that's about 2 tablespoons. You can tell. That smells very vinegary. So then I have some spices. I have some smoked paprika. I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in there, garlic powder, onion powder. Depending on how smoky you like it, you can add more smoked paprika. I'm going to do about a half of a teaspoon of black pepper. I like red pepper in this. I'll get in trouble if I put red pepper in there, but red pepper is the way to go with this. I'm going to put a nice big teaspoon of smoked paprika. I'll do 1 teaspoon of garlic. There you have a mic. You can finally say hello to people.
I know I have been. I have been.
And then I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And that is going to do it for the spices. All right, the last thing I need in here, and this is totally optional if you're salt-free or you're watching your sodium, you don't have to do this. I'm going to put a little liquid aminos in here. And now, what's super cool about this is you see what's in here. There's nothing really processed in here. And this is really good barbecue sauce. There's no refined sugar. Everything we had at home is pretty clean, and it's really, really delicious. So I'm going to blend this up quick, and this is what we're going to be using to make our, I should have had you over here with me. This is what we're going to be using to make our tofu crumble. Zap.
All right, zap away.
I'm just spreading everything out around the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be great. I think we got really lucky because the first try, it seems like it's really good.
All right.
So it's a little, I don't know. I like it thick.
Hi, Linda.
Let me show you what that looks like. Can they see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a little thick. I think I'm actually, for this recipe, I'm going to thin it out a little bit. I like a thick barbecue sauce. This is a little over the top thick, but I'm going to thin it out just a little bit with a little shot of water. And then I believe my recipe calls for a whole cup of this. Boy, I sealed.
2 Lindas tonight.
I sealed this so tight. Ah.
Yes, Kathy, we got the microphones fixed.
Okay. So I have some tofu. I accidentally already drained this ahead of time, but this is extra firm organic tofu. I crumpled it up already because I was actually meal prepping, and I forgot we were doing this recipe tonight. And I was going to put this in my meal prep, and then I remembered. Well, someone helped me remember not to use it.
Who that was.
So this is about, can they see that?
Yep. Hi, Mary.
So that's about the crumpled texture that I'm using. I'm going to take 1 cup of my brand new barbecue sauce, which I don't even have to taste it. I could tell you it's delicious.
Would you like me to critique it?
Sure. It's probably good. I hope it's good. I'm watching her face. Tangy, lots of tang, a little sweet.
You get an A+ from me.
A+.
Hi, Trisha and Sin.
Okay, so look at that look at that. Oh my gosh, is that amazing? Guys, this is the cleanest barbecue sauce you can get. So I'm going to put a cup of my barbecue sauce in there. I don't have to worry about refined sugar, all the other crap, preservatives, the colorings, all that stuff. It's all just stuff that we had in the kitchen. So once I'm going to start working the barbecue sauce in. Tofu is very bland by nature. So you really do, the reason why we need a whole cup is we really want to get all those flavors from the spices to kind of work into the tofu. Because like I said, tofu is bland, but it'll take on any flavor that's in there. Okay, so now what I want to do is give this a little cheesy hit. And to do that, I'm going to use some nutritional yeast. And I'm going to take about a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, and it's going to give it a really nice cheesy flavor. So what we're trying to do, really, we just got it really saturated with the barbecue sauce. But in order to give it a really crunchy texture, we have to kind of unsaturate it now. So we're going to put some dry stuff in here. And I probably, just so you guys have a reference, I'm probably going to put about 1.5 cups of oat flour. Now, all I did before you guys joined us, I just took some rolled oats. I put these in the blender and I made oat flour for really cheap.
Hi, Catherine. She said she loves flavors.
All right. So, you know, I think I'm going to get a spoon.
Faye, how's Dave and Nikki? Dave, are you sleeping?
Dave, wake up. I just turned on the air fryer to kind of preheat it a little bit. So that's a cup. I'm going to do at least another half a cup, and I'll show you what I'm looking for in a minute. I don't want to get it too dry, but I have to have something to get crunchy. If you don't have the oat flour in here, it won't get crunchy. So that was a cup. I'm going to do, I think it's about 3/4 of a cup. The recipe called for 2 cups. It seems like a lot to me, but we'll try 1.75 cups.
Wow, Robin's watching us from New Zealand as she eats her lunch. Awesome.
Kiwi. Yes, love New Zealand. Great accents too. Okay, this is what it looks like. This stuff is so good, guys. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. Dun, dun. Okay, it's that easy. Now imagine if I had my barbecue sauce made ahead of time, which I was going to do, but this recipe is so easy, we would be 3 minutes and we'd be out. So I made barbecue sauce. I can now put this away. I'll put it in the glass mason jar, probably a pint jar, and I have barbecue sauce for the week. I can put it on potatoes,
yes,
or whatever
perfect.
else. So I'm going to take my air fryer. When I put this in the air fryer, I preheated it because I find it doesn't stick as bad if it's hot when it goes in. And I'm just going to kind of spread this around. And I want to heat this fast. So I'm going to turn mine up. Mine happens to go up to 450 degrees. So that's what it looks like in the air fryer. I'm going to crank this up to 450, which I know is a lot. I'm going to let this go for 10 minutes. And then at 10 minutes, it's going to be about 3/4 of the way done. I'm going to break it up, turn it upside down, crisp up the back side of it, and it'll be ready to show you guys how amazing and how simple this dish really is. Can we flip-flop?
All right, give me a second here.
Heather's at the controls.
All right, I'm back. Where are you?
I'm getting there. Whoops, I just dumped water all over.
Okay.
Heather's dream is finally coming true. I'm losing my voice. Okay, so while that's cooking, so really quick, if you're just joining us, we did crunchy barbecue tofu crumble. The cool thing about this recipe, you could use, give me some things.
For
the sauce.
Oh, you could do hot sauce.
Hot, just straight up hot sauce. And actually, we call that buffalo tofu crumble. Hot
Yes.
sauce and more nooch. So you get like a cheesy buffalo flavor.
Let's see, what else could you do? Well, the barbecue and the hot sauce is my favorite.
You could do like
you
Asian.
could just yeah, with just some liquid
sauce or a low sodium tamari. And you could use some sriracha. That would be really good in there too. Yeah.
if you like really spicy.
Yeah, and you could taco. That's another really good one. You could jazz it up with a little extra red pepper in there. So there's 3-4 really good ones. You could do like a Greek kind of thing with some vinegar and dill and oregano. Sky's the limit for that. And you'll see when it comes out, it's quite lovely.
It is
quite lovely. Oh, we forgot to chat.
Let's see.
Okay, so
Trisha, there is a rack in the bottom of the air.
There's a rack on the bottom with these little rubber legs that I always wonder if they should have rubber legs in the air fryer. But we love that air fryer, by the way. It's our favorite. Okay, so we wanted to talk to you. Actually, this was kind of Heather's idea.
And it was about what to do when you're wanting to give up, feel hopeless with anything. with your health journey, your fitness goal, or just dealing with life struggles, just feeling overwhelmed, it is normal.
Yeah.
But how can we deal with these things?
Yeah, and I think the first thing that we should talk about before we even give you the 5 things is, you're right, it's normal, and it happens to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with social media is really fueling this fire, that this world of perfection, and we're getting a snapshot of people's lives, and their lives look so much better than ours, because all we get is a highlight reel from everyone, and then we have our real lives to live, and we realize that life isn't perfect.
Right.
So I think this is important, and I think a lot of that idea, this comparison thing, is what's fueling people wanting to give up with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
we're going to give you 5 hopefully quick things that I know we use when we want to quit, because it's not always easy. So let's talk about the first thing.
Break things down into smaller chunks. So give an example.
Well, I mean, look, this is not rocket science. We're not telling you any cutting edge things. I guess they're just really good reminders. So I'm going to flip that back on you, because the first thing that pops into my mind is when you're running a marathon. Now, just understand, this is just an analogy. This has nothing to do with running. But what do you do when you run a marathon and you want to give up?
Well, I start with getting on a training plan and
Well, no, you're
trying to
breaking things down. Like, we're in number 1. So how do you break things down in a marathon when you want to give up?
well, I kind of look for, see what mile I'm at, start counting down, or I look ahead and try to get to the next road sign or the next, I don't know, telephone pole or whatever it is, a tree.
Yeah, you're a master at this, because I've heard you say this a million times. When you want to quit, like, and the finish line is so far away, you chunk things down. I've heard you say this before. I just try to get to the next phone pole or the next tree or the next driveway, and then reassess. And the chunking down, like, you can get it as small as you want, because I know for me, especially in ultras and Ironman, I take that pole or the driveway and even smaller, where I start counting my footsteps. When you think about it, a marathon is what, 40,000 steps? You could literally break down a marathon into one step 40,000 times. And the only thing you have to do is get one more step.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of an extreme way. But this is not just for running. This is in life in general.
Well, even like losing weight, you focus on one healthy choice today, or start taking walks one step at a time, and just a little bit, like we say, just a little more than you did yesterday.
Sure. So that's one. Step 1 is break things down into smaller chunks. Step 2,
stop looking so far ahead.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of a piggyback to that. I heard my friend Jeff tell me one time, when he was his coach was telling him for Ironman, run the mile that you're in. And I think a lot of people get so freaked out about losing 100 pounds or whatever it is, that they quit. And they don't need to worry about losing 100 pounds, right? They need to stop looking that far ahead. And what can you do today to make yourself better tomorrow? So quit looking ahead.
Celebrating what you can do right now.
100%. And so, so actually, so number 3, this is a big one. I think this is probably the most important.
Stop comparing yourself to others.
And I know for me and you, stop comparing yourself to where you used to be or where you think you should be right now.
Right.
Because life happens and things change. And so you're not going to be what you were 30 years ago. Like, sorry. The eyes aren't as good, the ears aren't as good. But I mean, you do your best. The hair, the gray. You do your best. But the idea of comparing yourself to who you were 20 years ago, or who you see online, or these amazing success stories, stop. Stop. You know that cliche quote comparison is a thief, right? So does anyone struggle with it? Like, can you put in the comments if you struggle with the whole comparison game? Because maybe we're just weirdos, but I still struggle with it.
Well, and rather than focusing on others, focus on your progress and the things that you're doing. And even if it is just to walk to the mailbox and back, or if it's just to go up and down your stairs a couple times, or even to get in and out of your chair. I mean, focus on your progress and the things that you're doing, but just keep moving forward.
Yeah. And, you know, Lauren mentioned SMART goals, and SMART goals are great because a lot of times we have goals that are like Jello, right? Like they're just nothing to them. But SMART goals, you know, we have a measurable goal with a time period, and if you don't know about those, look that acronym up for SMART goals, because we really do need to boil it down to something that we can actually accomplish. And then the fourth one,
it's just one day at a time.
Yes. Again, it's one of those cliche things you've heard a million times, but one day at a time. I mean, that's really all we can do is, and someone even said in here, be in the moment. It sounds simple, but one day at a time is how many people get through recovery, and they end up going years and years and years clean and sober.
One small step forward, still moving forward.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times we want progress so fast. We're so stuck in this instant gratification world that we want to press a button for progress. And if it doesn't happen, we're out. But the reality is that progress is progress and forward is forward. And those are the things that matter the most. This one, I added in because I think it's so important. And I'm going to leave because this one is going to maybe make people mad. I don't know. You want to read it?
Recognize and challenge your excuses.
Yeah.
So excuses, we all have them.
Yes. Go on. Read what else we wrote down.
Let's see. We all have them, but most of the time they're just stories we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort or fear of failure.
Sorry, coming.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I'm coming. I had it was starting to burn. Our tofu's almost done. So, well, we're finished. The tofu has like 2 minutes left and it's beautiful, by the way. Look at, I think out of all, let's go back. So number 1,
break things down into smaller chunks.
Number 2,
stop looking so far ahead.
Number 3,
stop comparing yourself to others.
Number 4,
one day at a time.
Number 5, I think this is a huge one.
And challenge your excuses.
And here's what this means. A lot of times when we quit, we're quitting for reasons that we think are challenges or obstacles that we're not able to overcome them. And if you really boil it, every time this has happened in my life, they're fake. They're just literally fake things that I'm using, and I'm quitting because of an excuse. And it's not actually the challenge itself. So I think the thing to do is pause. The next time you feel like you're going to make an excuse, pause. Ask yourself if this is really an obstacle, or is it something that you can actually overcome? Because a lot of times we kind of embrace the obstacles because they're just, well, I could, but I got a bad knee. I could, but
I'm too tired.
I'm alone. I could, but there's people in my house that eat like crap. So is that really a reason to quit? Or can you honestly, if you really want to, can you find a workaround for it? And I think you'll find, if you're honest with yourself, you slow down, pause, give it some time. I think if you can get creative, you can find a way around. Right? So I can't run because I have bad knees. Okay, well, what can you do? Right? Because there's something you can do. And if you don't believe me, go to the Paralympics or something, because there's something everyone can do. As far as it would take us hours to go through all these excuses, but if you're alone, go find community. If you don't have community, go build one. Like, there's always workarounds if you prioritize this stuff.
Right.
And so I think it's really easy to quit because of a challenge because we just want it there. Like we literally want that challenge there because it's a good way out. It's not easy, right? Overcoming a challenge is tough. It's hard. But if it's worth it, you should figure out a way around it.
Right.
And maybe it's not worth it for you. You know, that's another thing we didn't mention. Maybe you don't care enough to actually do something about it. And I mean, I guess that's okay too, but we need to be honest with ourselves.
But there might be others that are looking for you to do these things and to help them.
Yes. And I'm going to help the tofu because I smell it starting.
So can I say that? Can I say that?
Yes. So let's wrap it up, Heather.
Okay. Focus on small wins. Take things day by day and be proud of every step you take because you got this.
Yes.
How'd you like that?
I loved it. And I love that we actually have notes, which we never do.
Well, I like notes because notes keep us on track.
Yeah.
And then we don't go off into the
I never go
weeds.
off track.
No,
I never
never.
go into the weeds. But I am going to go show people the tofu because
all right.
it's lovely.
Well, let's get it.
It's a lovely.
You want me to turn this around?
You know what? I'm even going to get a fancy plate out.
Oh, fancy plate for the crunchy tofu crumbles.
No, I'm going to get 2 fancy plates.
2 fancy plates.
2 fancy plates. All right. Let's go. Okay. Did you flip us around?
I'm trying. And there you are.
Okay, guys. Look at how fancy we are.
Denise, she loves tofu.
We're so fancy. I can't even stand how fancy we are right now.
Lauren says she does like the weeds though too. Okay.
What?
The weeds. But I like to have some little notes here for myself from time to time.
Oh, yeah, sometimes getting off in the weeds is really good.
Yes.
Okay. Can they see this? Can I just show you guys? Look, I'm way too excited about this right now. Probably because this came out so freaking perfect. Guys, look at this. Look, this is amazing. Like you can hear how crunchy it is.
You know, and I was just thinking about this. This is actually a good game day snack.
Yeah,
too.
For kids. I mean, come on, man. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
No one saw that. No one saw that. We could edit that out of a live. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm making such a mess. I was doing this so fancy, too. Look at this. Look at it.
Nancy says, yummy, looks so good.
Oh,
Nancy,
you can't even right now. This is it's so good. And you get a pile of it, too.
There you go.
Like, we're not playing around here with portion size.
The buffalo would be best because for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, which, by the way, I believe they won.
I can't remember if they did.
And we're such good Bills fans. They play 20 minutes away from us. They won. We knew it. So in honor of the Bills, we have Buffalo waiting, man. No.
I said we should have done Buffalo.
Okay, guys, look at this. It's so stinking easy. If you don't want to make your own barbecue sauce, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you can use just buy the cleanest sauce that you can find, and you can do this. And it's so stinking easy. You saw how easy it was. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see this, and Heather's going to get ready to switch the camera back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to shake you around. Look at that. Come on. This is so beautiful. Look at how crunchy this stuff is. It holds together. It's so nice. All right. You want to?
You ready? Yep. All right. And I did it.
We're back.
This worked out great.
Great.
You can change it on us again. We'll still figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, Restream. We're too smart for you to screw us up on this.
Until next week.
Until next week, and you change everything again. So, guys, look at tofu crumble. It's so easy. You literally don't even need a recipe. And
keep talking. I was just fixing my chats.
Oh, this is the chat lady. You're the raisin lady and the chat lady. Guys, don't give out raisins for Halloween.
I didn't this year.
We did. Anyways, so there's the barbecue tofu crumble. It's so versatile. It's so easy. Experiment with it. The trick is this. Here's the pro trick. You don't need a recipe. You don't even need that recipe book that we posted somewhere, although it's kind of cool. It's 80 recipes. But this is what you need to know. You take the tofu, realize it's bland. You got to put something with it that has a lot of flavor, a lot of spice. Once you get the flavor, then your job is just to use oat flour to dry it all up so it gets nice and crispy. And you don't even need a recipe. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Okay.
And it's delicious.
Let's recap really quick. When you feel like you want to quit, first of all, understand that everyone goes through that. You are definitely not alone in the quit factory. There's a lot of towels out there that want to get tossed in. But before you do, here's 5 things.
Break things down into smaller chunks.
That's the first one.
Stop looking so far ahead.
Yes, keep it tight.
Stop comparing yourself to others.
That's the worst.
Take it one day at a time. And I almost forgot the last one. Recognize and challenge your excuses. Challenge your excuses seems like it doesn't fit in that list, but I think it's so stinking important. Is it really an obstacle, or are you putting that in your mind? And if it is an obstacle, start thinking about ways you can overcome it and work through it. The key to this whole thing is persistently working in small steps. Yes.
And no one wants to hear that because they want the big thing done. Results today. Right. Okay. With that said,
eat plants.
Move your body.
All you got to do is a little more than you did yesterday.
And don't you dare give up, because we want to see you be successful.
Yes.